Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy you guys are tuning into this video today because we're going to talk about what I think is one of the most important topics in this game, because everyone chases after the best characters. Everyone's going to gear up those amazing characters, but the thing that sets people apart is mods, and more specifically, speed. Speed is king in this game, guys, and we are going to talk about the free-to-play way to acquire and how to get a strategy together to make sure you get amazing speed secondary mods. That is the hunt of all time for Galaxy of Heroes, because one speed difference could mean life or death in this game. Well, my Darth Vader, this Emperor Palpatine lineup I have right here, it absolutely decimates every single team in Arena because I have decent speed mods, plus with Darth Vader's unique, I can outrun every single team that I come across in Arena and easily get to #1. However, there is one team that gives me a hard time, because when you look at their Darth Revan, they have one speed more than my Darth Vader, and because of that, I go from having an absolutely amazing win streak to always losing because I have one less speed than this Darth Revan. That is the importance of mods in Galaxy of Heroes. You might have a good strategy, but if you don't have the mods to back it up, a team with a bad strategy and amazing mods can most of the time probably outdo a team that has inferior mods. So let's lay down the groundwork before we get into what I like to call mining for speed. The first tip you got to keep in mind is really 5-dot mod or bust. The golden rule I'm going to tell you guys is that you want to try to find at least one mod that gets plus 10 speed in the secondary. Whether you upgrade the mod to find 10 speed or you slice a mod to get 10 speed, that's the goal. You want an expansive roster with plus 10 speed. And the problem with mods that are under 5 dots is that you cannot slice them. Yes, you can level them up, but the stats are going to be smaller. And secondly, slicing gives you extra opportunities to increase those secondary stats, or in our case, increase the speed to be something even higher. So really try to get 5-dot mods, and if those 2, 3, 4-dot mods don't have at least plus 10 speed in the secondaries, just throw them away. Don't waste your credits, because farming mods and leveling up mods is a very credit intensive thing to do. Next tip is, how often should you farm mods to go on this expedition to find secondary speed? And really it depends where you are in the game. Of course, you get free energy for mods every single day without spending a single crystal, and with that you can get extra mods or get the materials to slice up the mods. However, I recommend if you're a beginner player or mid-tier player, I know there's a lot of stuff to farm in the game right now, but as your roster expands, you need to add meat to those new characters you're gearing up. So what I recommend doing at that stage is at least once a week, use crystals to refresh mod energy to farm new mods and farm the materials to slice those mods up. And if you're more of an endgame player like me, you should be farming mods every single day and spending the crystals to refresh the energy 1, 2, maybe 3 times, or even more if you have such a large crystal income, because mods, again, as I said, it's going to differentiate who's the good player and who's the bad player. Even one speed makes a big difference. I know we're going to talk mainly about how to get those juicy speed secondaries we're all chasing after, but just 2 quick things I want to point out for other areas to find speed. First of all, when you're farming out of the mod challenges, I recommend that about 50% of your mod inventory comes from the speed set, because when you apply a speed set to a character, they get an additional 10% speed that is added to them based off their base speed that they have. So let's say a character had, let's say, a base speed of 200, they'll get a 10% bonus. So right there, they're at 220 speed before even considering the primaries and secondary stats. The other awesome opportunity for speed is going to be the arrow mod. Farm as many arrow mods with speed in the primary. Pretty easy to come across, so you want a giant inventory of those so you can always slap on a good 30-some speed on a character. And the cool thing is, if you slice it to 6-dot mods, you get plus 32 speed on that. So we laid down the core principles for when you're looking for mods, and we also talked about other areas of opportunities other than secondary speed to get some more speed out of a character. But what do you do now that you've farmed all these brand new mods from the mod challenges, from mod shipments, or from the events that pop up here and there that give you some free stuff? Well, we gotta start mining, boys. Put on your hard hat and bring your pickaxe, because in that inventory we have a bunch of level 1s mods, all those mods have potential to be something amazing. When you level up those mods, you start seeing the secondaries. Then when you slice the mods, you're adding another layer of potential speed rolling on that mod. And you might take a mod that looks like it's garbage to something that might be one of your best mods that was just sitting in your inventory just waiting to be discovered. So we're gonna focus on the first half of the mod upgrading process, which the first part is all about leveling from 1 to 15, but you're not gonna just wanna go in there and just keep leveling up random mods at 15, because that's going to be a waste of credits, because a lot of these mods, let's just be honest, they might not be the mods you're looking for. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go through these level 1 mods, and you're going to want to level them up by increments of 3, 6, 9, 12, stop. And because the reason why I say that is because at each of those cornerstones of 3, you're going to get a secondary stat revealed. We're talking about great mods for the moment. Every time you're hitting a 3, 6, 9, 12, a secondary stat is going to be revealed. And you're going to stop at 12. And looking at these great mods, you're going to say, huh, no speed in this mod, I'm not leveling up anymore. Now, of course, there might be a primary or other secondary stat you're looking for, like protection or health or potency. I'm solely talking about speed because that's what the game is mostly based on. If there's no speed on this mod at level 12, most likely you just want to sell it eventually and get those credits back to reinvest in new mods later on. But you're probably going to have other mods at level 1, but they have a different color. And if you notice, this is actually where things get interesting, because green, blue, purple, and gold mods, before you even level them up, they'll already have secondary stats in the mod for you to see before even leveling them up. When you have a green mod, before leveling it up, you'll have 1 secondary stat shown. When you have a blue mod, you'll have 2 secondary stats shown before leveling it up. When you have purple mod, you'll have 3 secondary stats shown. And gold, you'll see all 4 secondary stats before even putting a single cent into those mods. And the cool thing is, let's say green, for instance, what happens is when you hit level 3 on that mod, it's going to show the second secondary stat, whereas the gray mod would have just shown the first one. And then when you bring that green mod to level 6, you'll see the 3rd secondary stat. And with green mods, gray mods, for example, you stopped at level 12 to evaluate. Green mods, you stop at level 9 to evaluate, because at level 9, you'll see all the secondary stats of that mod. And kind of like before, if there's no speed in that secondary or in those secondaries, move on, unless of course there's some other thing you're looking for. But we're talking about speed here. But what if there is speed listed in one of the secondaries of this mod? What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to level this mod up to the next increment, because if you have all the secondary stats listed and you still have a couple increment jumps you can make, what happens when you make that next increment of 3 jump is that one of the secondaries will randomly roll to something better. And if speed's listed as one of the secondaries on there, you have a 1 in 4 chance that when you do that increment jump of 3, you might roll that speed into something higher. It's really a casino game. You're just trying to feel lucky and get that speed to roll up to even higher. And if you look next to each of these secondaries, you're going to see a parentheses with a number, and that means how many times that stat was rolled to be something better. So I just kind of vomited a bunch of information on you there, but let's take this on to the next color tier. Let's take it on the blue. The blue mods, before you level it up, at level 1 you'll see 2 secondaries. So at level 3 you'll see the 3rd secondary pop up, and at level 6 you'll see the 4th and last secondary pop up. So what does that mean? That means the jump to 9 to 12 gives you 2 opportunities to roll one of those secondary stats into something better. And then it gets even better. If you're at purple at level 1 of the mod, you're already seeing 3 of the secondary stats. Well, when you roll it to 3, you're gonna see all the secondary stats, and you just stop at 3 and you say, huh, no speed in here, garbage. Or if it does have speed, then what you do is you're gonna upgrade it to level 6, and then 9, and then 12. So 3 extra opportunities to roll those secondaries into something even better. And if there's speed in there, you could have an opportunity to level that up to something really, really good before you even touch the slicing process. And then gold is where you can see it right away. Gold is going to show all 4 secondaries, and if there's speed in there, that is very good, because that means you have 4 opportunities to potentially keep rolling that speed over and over again. Now, rolling speed 4 times in a row is going to be pretty difficult, but it can happen. So hopefully at this stage you kind of understand how slicing mods work. Well, now the magic question is, which mods do you slice? And that's the $1 million question because this is where the randomness comes in. However, the mods that I really like to slice the most are actually the low-end ones. I love going through my gray mods and finding a lot of great stuff to start off with. At times, you'll find gray mods that start off with plus 4, 5, 6, and then going from gray to green, it's pretty easy. The materials needed to jump from that tier to the next is fairly easy to come across. Now, green is an awesome place to also start slicing, because remember, when you're upgrading your greens, you get a one random roll for a secondary, and that roll could increase the speed. So before you even start slicing, you might already have a plus 8, 9, 10, 11 green secondary mod. So when you slice it easily, the materials are pretty easy to go from green to purple. There's a chance you can take that mod and already turn it into a fantastic mod when it goes to blue, and that's even before considering to slice the purple and then the gold. If you're gonna start slicing some purples, which eventually you want to, you really want to aim for the ones that already have a pretty decent secondary speed, whereas with gray, green, and blue, you can kind of have a lower number and hope it gets bigger, whereas with purple, you only really have one more major opportunity to take that mod and bring it into something better when it gets to the gold tier. So if you're gonna slice those purple mods, try to find those ones that have a good like 7, 8, 9, 10, hopefully maybe 11 and plus purple secondary speed, because that's a pretty good number to work with when you're moving beyond to the gold tier, and it's not going to be a waste of materials. And now we get to the topic of slicing the 6 dots. First of all, slicing the 6 dot again is exclusively only for 5 dot mods, and more specifically, you need to be a 5 dot gold mod before you can make the jump. And in terms of speed secondaries, when you slice a mod that has a speed secondary to 6 dots, what happens is you get an extra plus 1 speed added. So if there is plus 19 in that secondary speed, it'll go to plus 20 at 6 dot. If it was 21 speed, it'd go to 22. If it was 10, it would go to 11. And the thing I recommend, since it's going to be hard to get a large inventory of 6 dot mods, when you do have the materials, really what I do, if you're trying to make sure you have the fastest characters possible, just go down the list of your fastest mods, your fastest secondary speed mods, and just bump those up to 6 dot mods. Or if you want, we talked about those arrow mods a while ago, you can 6 dot those arrow mods to go from plus 30 to plus 32. So that gets an extra plus 2 speed in the primary, whereas the secondary speeds only get plus 1 when making a jump from 5 dot to 6 dots. But basically, after you do all this mining with upgrading mods and finding the good and bad ones and doing some slicing, you want to flush and repeat. You need to try to take those bad mods and reconvert them into currency so you can go back and then upgrade the new mods you bring into your inventory. So again, you want to try to shoot for mods that have plus 10 speed or more. Anything under that, delete it, and then bring in new mods to try to keep bringing in a new source of mods for your inventory. When you go through this process, you have to go through this mod assembly line process. Basically, you're going to find good ones, you're going to put it in your roster, you're going to find bad ones, you're going to pull it out. It's all about a numbers game. If there is some luck involved, but once you get into the groove, you're going to notice that your roster is going to quickly expand with some amazing speed secondaries, which will give you hopefully a great advantage in arena, where you have to have super fast characters. And then when you do grand arena, you're gonna have a wide arsenal of speed secondaries to make sure you can mod a lot of teams and be very competitive, because mods is one of the things that people lack the most in, because it's not fun and it's also daunting, and it's something that requires a lot of time to keep up with. Guys, I sincerely hope this video was helpful for you guys, because I can tell you the best characters in the game, I can tell you the best Zetas in the game, but you're just not going to see the same impact if you don't have the speed to back up those characters, especially in a game where speed is king. You got to try to keep up with mods. Shoot for that plus 10 speed, add it to your roster at the minimum every single day. And if you see anything with more than 10 speed, give yourself a pat on the back, because you are going to make yourself every little bit better in this game. Comment down below on your thoughts. What are tips that you guys go about mods? Everyone's got their own little thing. This is what I do. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and be sure to subscribe for more guides and other fun stuff on this channel. Really do appreciate it. And as always, guys, we will talk again very soon. Peace out.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down.